Hey, this is Hans for Request for Music, and I want to introduce two modules. The module clocks that I already used in a movie on, I think it was GENSEQ. Yeah, I think it was because I used it there to clock the speed of the GENSEQ. And so I created it earlier and have finished it last weekend. Uh, and then I thought that it might be handy to have some buttons to either reset or run stuff. So I've got this buttons module with two buttons in there that do some stuff, and there's already some connections going on at the moment, so I'll show that later. But I've got two buttons, and those buttons have some options. One general, one global reset to reset both of the options. A input, an external input to trigger the buttons for each of those buttons. A play mode or a play a mode setting. Let's take this off. I'll switch off the sound for now. Um, so I've got this, which is with the setting of the mode in the lower setting. It's just a normal toggle button, so it's either this setting or switched off. And on the other setting in the top, you have a momentary button, and there's a pulse dial pulse knob in there, which actually changes the amount of time that the pulse is given. You see the actual action of the output from the LED. So if you push this, it's a very short pulse. If I take this on, it's getting longer. If it's like this, it's the longest setting is about 200 milliseconds. Those pulses are set for all of these outputs. So this is the actual normal standard output. So when this is, so if I have this something like this, this is high, so the output of this is high. The inverted is low then, of course, so that means that if I set this to high, this is low, and the other way around. And the other is a set of delay outputs, where the delay outputs are connected to a knob here, which you can set from 0 up to 2000 milliseconds to 2 seconds. So that delays that output signal, and you have a standard and an inverted one for those as well. So you've got two of those, and on the clocks, there's a clock input, so you can clock it with another clock. You have a reset. There's a 1 if it's running yes or no, and you already saw that or you heard that while clocks was connected to some stuff. For the rest, you have a swing input, and you have the way of changing the signal itself. So it's either a trigger or a gate signal, so that's a difference in length of the signal. There's the BPM, there's the swing, there's the probability, overall probability for all of the outputs, and otherwise you can actually change the division of the signal on the output of the clock signal and the probability of each of those channels separately. So if for instance, maybe I should first of all disconnect a couple of things here and or switch some stuff up, because I have, and I'll take this lower, I have a setup with a couple of sounds that I can use. I'll take these here as well, and so I have a GENSEQ, I have a VCO, and AETHERZ and a VCF. Those are connected to a mixer, and the mixer is connected to the delay and the reverb, and the delay and the reverb are connected to the main output. So if I dial this all up, you'll see that the clocks, the run is connected to the button, and the output of A is connected to GENSEQ to give it a clock. GENSEQ has a pitch coming out into the VCO external input, and the gate input into the AETHERZ gate input, where the output of the gate, the envelope, is going into the VCF envelope input, and the output of the VCO is going into the input of the VCF into the filter, and this should normally go into the mixer. taken that out, so I have no sound. So if everything's okay and I've got this up and I have this connected, I have no sound. So that's good. So let's hook these up, and I'll connect. I'll connect my output there, and I'll hook this up into this here, and then start up the clocks. So the speed of the clocks is obviously, yeah, creating a speed for GENSEQ. I can do something here on the actual speed. Oh, sorry, I was changing the wrong button. I can change the speed here, but the actual speed is actually driven by, and this was also due to the gate triggering. So clocks is triggering my GENSEQ, and I also have a burst output if you want to drive an AETHERZ, for instance. If you would want to drive an AETHERZ, you can actually have extra signals, and this is the amount of bursts. It gives up to 8 bursts, so a speedier repetition of gates. You could use that if you wanted to. So, well, let's take a look at this. This now is the start-stop button for the clocks. So let's actually take it a bit different, and I'll take. Oops. These. No, come on. And I'll take these up here. And I'll auto-align all of this. And I'll take these and I'll copy. Yeah, I think I'll have to copy clocks as well, actually. So I'll take the clocks to connection with this all. So I'll copy all of this. Put this to the left. Let's zoom out a bit so I've got everything on here, and I'll make sort of a comparable setup. I'll put this to the side. Oops. Switch auto align off, so I'll be able to put this somewhere in the middle, and I'm going to take my run into this one as well, and I'll take it into the standard normal signals so I can switch it on or off. I'll take my A output and put that into my run of this clocks. Oops, of my clock input of GENSEQ. Sorry, a bit confused myself. I'll take my pitch output, put that into the external here, or internal signal. Put my gate there, put my signal envelope into the VCF and put it like that. So I got two setups. Take this there, put it to the side a bit, so I should have two signals. So, and I could place this as a momentary button and take that signal into the reset. So I'm sure that everything's connected to the same point, as you can hear. Now what I could do, for instance, is instead of using the run signal from the normal, so let's take this out, now I could take my signal for the second one and put that into my delayed signal here. So now let's take this to 1000 milliseconds and switch this on. So it could do something like that. Let's see, I've got that one to square, this a bit louder, so let's take this sound a bit down. Make it more apparent that it's left and right. So that's the delay. The other thing is, as I said, I could take pulse and use the momentary. So now, because it's a longer pulse, it's taking more clock steps that is sending into GENSEQ, and I could pulse this manually myself. So if I would have some other instrument that I play with a VCO, of course, and so let's actually do that. Let's take these and copy those over, so and use my pitch into my external input, use my gate there as well, and take this up a bit to be able to put that there, and put my envelope here and put this into the next one. So now this has the same sort of setup, but so I got something like this. Take the volume up a bit and I'll put it somewhere in the middle, hopefully. So switch off the cable so I can check. Yeah. So now I do this, and maybe I'll take the gate into to this as well. So I'm hooking up this to the button, and the button is actually triggering all of the rest. So as soon as I play a note, I get something like this. Maybe I make this a lot longer and maybe make this sound a bit more interesting by taking, let's see, taking my echoes module and put that in between. So I'll take this signal into my left and take my left and right output of this. And let's see what kind of a preset I have. Maybe something like this. And maybe take a longer AETHERZ on both of the other ones for something like this. So it's not too difficult to hook something like this up. Hope you can understand what I've done here, and you see that buttons itself can be pretty handy. If I do something like this, I use this delay from this, so I could actually take the delay down, of course. Maybe use an LFO to dial this up, or I could use my AETHERZ to change the modulation for this. If you haven't seen that, AETHERZ is also a pretty new module that has all kinds of modulation sources, 4 of them internally, and I could actually take one of those outputs here, and now the modulation is done by, and I'll have to sort of take this up. Or maybe it's good to switch it off. Duh. Let's take that one out. It's less chaos, less drifting. Maybe take the B output to my to my pulse width, and I could actually take the average of all of the outputs there. So I'll take that one out and I'll just switch them on. So all the modulation you actually hear in my lead sound is coming from AETHERZ, which does it, almost random, but it's actually connecting to all of the random sources that it can, or to the sources that it can find. Let's take the output actually of my oscillator to drive itself. It now has hooked up to that blue one, which is that first clock or first source. Take another I'm only playing notes, not touching anything whatsoever for the rest. Anyway, I hope that gives you some sort of an idea what you at first can do with buttons and clocks, but for the rest with GENSEQ, with AETHERZ and all of the rest of this stuff. I hope you like it. There's obviously a demo, 5-day demo for buttons and clocks as soon as they come in the store, which will be in a couple of days probably. So I hope to see you in the next video after that. So cheers for now. Bye bye.